Hi everyone, Lewis here. I'm going to do a review of John Wick Chapter 4, which I saw today in Imax. Interesting that they gave Chapter 3 a subtitle of Parabellum, and none of the others have had that. They've just been Chapter 1, Chapter 2, well, just John Wick, then Chapter 2, and now Chapter 4, the fourth instalment. I remember doing my review of Chapter 3, and I watched all of them again recently, and I've never really been that big a fan of them, to be honest. When I did my review of Chapter 3, I kind of went, you know what, I probably won't go see the next one, because this was like, 2019 or 2018, I can't remember which, I think it was 2019, remember the good old days, pre-pandemic and stuff, and that seemed like a frivolous thing, like, I won't bother going to see that, and now I'm very grateful every time I can go to the cinema, so I thought, you know what, this is a good experience, and I'm going to enjoy it, so I thought, I'll go see John Wick 4 in the IMAX, and I think, when they announced the runtime, it's 2 hours and 49 minutes overall, I think, I thought, oh, that's going to be long. I thought, I'm definitely going to hit that point again. Because when I rewatched them recently, I did enjoy them more than I used to. Because I just really appreciate how well made they are and how interesting and unique they are and how good they look. And even if they're not fully my thing, I like an action movie. But I find these ones sometimes do, like I say, they just lose me a little bit at a certain point. I've seen enough of what it's bringing. When I rewatched the third one again, I did kind of hit that point. I still liked it, but there was a point later on where I was just I kind of disconnected a little bit. So I was a bit concerned that was going to happen with this one, but I thought, you know what, I'll go check it out anyway, and yeah, so which I did. I saw it today, but did I like it? Yes, I really did. I think this is the best one, at the very least, my favourite one. I think it's a rare series where it seems to get better as it goes. I think the second one and the first one, I think maybe you could take one or the other, but the third one was such a bigger production. There's a lot more going on. This one's even bigger still, and yeah, and I just think you can really see that progression. I guess each time they probably just get more money, and then they have to top what they did in the previous one, and it just kind of builds on that. I literally only watched it a couple of hours ago, so like I've probably still got a bit of like recency bias going on because it's seeing it in IMAX and how long it is as well is quite an experience. Like I would definitely recommend seeing it in IMAX if you have the opportunity to, because I really think that's probably the best way to experience it. I can't imagine watching it on anything smaller. Like it's one of those things that makes me kind of go, God, the cinema experience is so good. Like obviously you have some bad experiences every now and then, but for the most part, I couldn't imagine watching this film for the first time on a TV and having the same impact. So, I know people like streaming and that now. People go, oh, wait for it to be on Netflix or whatever with most films. But I just don't think that'd be the same experience watching that. I mean, you'd probably still enjoy it. But I just think seeing it on a screen that big, seeing it on an IMAX screen especially, it's just so good. Like, it's just like the opening few seconds of the movie. And again, no spoilers. I'm not really going to say much of anything. But that it was so incredibly loud that I think it hurt. Like I think it affected my hearing a little bit. But I was like, but the opening's so cool anyway. I was just like, yeah, here we go, we're in. I think let's say because it is so long, and I'm no problem with a long film. I'm no stranger to a 3 hour movie, but and I'm as long as I know that going in, and I'm happy to kind of sit with it. I like a film that can take a long time to tell a story, but you're just invested with it. And I think there probably were a few bits in the middle section where I did kind of feel the length giggity a little bit, but not in a bad way. I think as long as a film like this, as long as it kind of sticks to the landing, the overall journey's worth it. I don't mind a film that almost feels like a bit of an endurance test in a way. I mean that in a positive way, because I say there's a lot of shooting and fighting and kicking and stuff like that, and just going on in this as you'd expect. So like after a while, it's kind of like it's almost exhausting yourself. But I think the final act of it and the way everything kind of comes together is quite unique in these films, but it works really well, I think. And I think that by the end of it, I was like, yeah, I did really like that. There were some bits in the middle where I was like, oh no, maybe this is going to start to lose me soon, but there's a whole long sequence towards the end that was just like, I think by that point I was committed to it, kind of thing. And yeah, so overall I think just a really good experience. Like I say, one thing I will say about it is that I think, as is typically the case, I think John Wick is probably the least interesting character in this, and I like Keanu Reeves as John Wick. Like I think in this one especially, he doesn't do a lot kind of verbally or like just even like acting wise. He's mostly just kicking, punching people and shooting them and that, which is fine. That's what you're here for. But like, I think he has like a weird delivery, Keanu Reeves. He always has. I like him as an actor, but he has this kind of like stilted, kind of almost like stuttered delivery in these films, and it's more noticeable in this one than it ever has been before. And just like, I know it's definitely a choice that he's making to do that, but it's strange. It kind of it didn't ruin anything for me. I just found it a bit odd. But they have some of the older characters back, and they introduce a lot of newer characters as well. And just I think they're the real strength of it. I like these characters. They're just so unique and interesting, and I like a lot of them. And I won't go into too much detail because I think it's more fun just to experience them as you see it. But I think they're trying to like expand this universe kind of thing. And I think so. They're probably introducing a few of these characters to see how they work out, and then maybe they'll have their own movie or show or something. I don't know, but I like that. I think there was some really interesting people. It kind of reminded me of in recent years. I'm watching a few like sort of Bollywood films and Tollywood films and that, and it's like everyone in those action movies is like really cool. Like the way they introduce characters is just the coolest way, and you go, yeah, these are just the baddest people alive. And it kind of has a lot of that to it. Like every time you see a new character, you kind of go, man, this guy or this girl, they're cool. And like, they're going to do some really cool stuff. It's like a bit in The Simpsons where you're waiting for them to do something cool. You know the bit I mean. I would say cinematically as well, it's really impressive. It's really looks good. Like that's one thing I appreciate that these movies makes them stand out from like a lot of blockbusters is that there's a lot of just really interesting color and just sort of the way things are shot, and just like it just looks really cool. Like I say, they introduce all the characters in cool ways, and everything's really well set out in the martial arts scenes as you'd expect, and it all looks really quite real and gritty and that. But just shots of even just like streets and things like that, like everything just looks really cool. And I feel like these movies, even more so as they've gone on, have more of a heightened sense of reality. Like I was thinking, like in like some of the most recent like Scream movies, like people get stabbed a lot and they carry on running about and that, and you kind of just have to go with it. I think this is kind of in a similar way. Like like John Wick takes an absolute battering in every film, but especially in this one, and he falls off something and lands on something, and you go, surely, he's at least broken a leg there, if not a spine. But you just kind of go with it. But it's treated so seriously as well. There's a few little wise cracks here and there, but John Wick's not one of those people that kills someone then makes a joke about how he killed him. And it's like, I like that, again, like kind of like a Bollywood film in a sense, where they don't, like, even though some of it can be a bit over the top and ridiculous, like they don't undercut it with a joke or anything like a lot of modern blockbusters do, where they kind of go, if you're not treating it seriously in the film, then your audience isn't going to treat it seriously. And there's a few bits in it that are so crazy in this film that kind of made me laugh quite a bit, but not to the point where I was laughing kind of at the film. It was like I was still with it kind of thing. And I think because they treat it so seriously, and everything means something because it's treated so seriously, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I had a really good time with this. I say I haven't been a massive fan of the movies overall. I've always liked them and I've watched them all, and like I say, I rewatched them recently and like them more. But yeah, I thought this one was really good. I think it may be too long for some people. I don't know. I think some people will probably, kind of maybe get a bit fed up with it. But I think if you like these films, and even if like me, you kind of on the fence about them previously, I think it's a really good entry. It's yeah, but yeah, I would recommend it. If you know you're going to like it, then you will definitely like it. Obviously. And definitely see it on an Imax screen, or at the very least a cinema screen, because it's good. It's good. Yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, and goodbye.